I wanted to show you what 300 billion really looks like. There's 300 billion stars in our Milky Way galaxy, and I just wanted you to get a sense of how enormous that number is. But I'm not able to. It's too big a number. So let me show you how far I got and tell you why I couldn't really show you. So I thought what I would do is try to visualize it using just black and white squares on a computer. So I was using Photoshop, and I guess we could say each white square here represents a star against the blackness of space, right? And so I started doing this. I made an enormous file and started making copies of this thing to try to build up to 300 billion. Well, eventually my computer couldn't really handle it anymore running Photoshop, and Photoshop has some limits to what it can do. So I'll show you how far I got. I'm just going to start kind of zooming out. So this view will show you, this is roughly probably about 200 stars, something like that. So I'm just going to kind of zoom out. Alright, you start to get an idea of how this was working. Okay, now you start zooming out far enough you can't really see the individual stars. So we're getting here, this has got to be pushing maybe like 100,000 by this point. 100,000 stars. Let's keep zooming out. Okay, now we're getting closer to maybe pushing a million. I think maybe over a million at this point. It just kind of looks gray now, right? I'm going to keep zooming out, and zooming out, and you'll start to see about how far I could get. Okay, this is about what I did. Okay, which isn't that impressive, but this is well over probably 10 to 50 million stars. Let me just show you what I would have had to do to make this 300 billion. Keep zooming out. I kept making copies of all this. This is what I was trying to fill up. And this is a limit that Photoshop has. If I filled up this entire frame here, that would have been 3 billion stars. I would have needed to fill up 100 of these large images. And there's just no way my computer could do that. Right? And if I zoom back in, you'll see how far in we had to go to see individual stars. Okay, so we're talking about enormous numbers. Extremely hard to comprehend how big these numbers really are. And when we talk about these stars, it's important to remember that every one of these stars, right? Some are bigger than our sun, some are smaller than our sun, but on average, they're like a huge star like our sun. And each one could have planets around it. It's really, truly mind-boggling.